Hello everyone, Mr. Nacho here, and today I have something special for you, since you've all been so good to me, and we have reached right now like 1700 subscribers, and I haven't done really any specials on that occasion. There won't be any face reveal or anything like this, but I think that I found something that you might enjoy. Recently in my Shocker video, I asked you to give me some ideas or recommendations on what builds you'd like to see next, or what build ideas you think are fun, but you are struggling with building them yourself. So I have actually built them for you. We'll go through the showcase of the community builds today. There are 3 of them so far, and I hope to make this a series where underneath the video you can post your own builds if you want me to review them. This would be best done with the site that I will link in the description below. It's very easy to use and it's very easy to copy paste the builds so you can share them with everyone else. It's called the Remnant 2 Toolkit. Or if you are having any issues making the build yourself, I'd be very happy to help you and try to make it work for you. So there will be 2 segments. One would be me making builds that you are struggling with, and the other one would be me reviewing the builds that you have sent, whether to say that, well, they are just perfect the way they are, or if there are any changes that I'd made. I will try to run some bosses with them and let you know. Anyway, the first request comes from the user Yamsui4520. I hope that I didn't butcher this name, but I think I did. And he said, could you please make a prime engineer / handler build for endgame, please? Well, worry not, I have made something specifically for you. Thank you very much for posting the comment, and let's get right into the first build. So the build looks like this. We have the prime engineer, as you have requested, with the Vulcan skill, and we have secondary handler with the attack dog ability. When it comes to the armor, wear whatever you'd like. I just decided that this looks kinda goofy and that it has quite nice armor rating and it's also heavyweight. That's good for me. So what it is Leto Mark II helmet, Leto Mark II armor, Fey Royal Greaves, and High Noon arm guards. This is the setup, that's how it looks like. It's kinda goofy, kinda neat, I don't know, you decide. When it comes to the relic, we are using the Tranquil Heart, since whenever you are heavy carrying, and this will be a heavy carry build, you cannot use relic or cast abilities or shoot your guns or, summon mods. So we just wanted something that will work passively. So we have the Tranquil Heart, which will just give us 2 HP per second. Very nice. The relic fragments are the mythic skill damage, skill cooldown, and weak spot damage, because the heavy carried turret can actually hit weak spots and it counts as a skill damage. That's why the engineer is perfect for it, since it has 50% increased skill damage and handler has 30% permanent skill damage, and it will also have another 20% from the attack dog ability, which will be another 50% of skill damage, which will give us a 100% bonus to skill damage, which is insane. On top of that, when it comes to the jewelry, we'll have the Index of the Scribe. I don't know if you ever seen this amulet even, but it's perfect for this build only when there is a weak spot that you can hit, which is like the Ravager fight or Shahala. This will be the perfect fight for it. So what it does is it increases mod and skill weak spot damage by 35%. This is very good for us if you are good at hitting the weak spot, that is. With Vulcan it's pretty simple. Also, you have so much ammo whenever you overload, so you use the high-tech perk that you will hit those weak spots even by accident, because you'll just be letting it rip with this gun. Then what we have is Xania's Malice, since dealing weak spot damage increases weak spot damage by 10% for 7 seconds and it stacks 3 times, so it's another 30% weak spot damage bonus. Then we have the Mechanics cog to increase our movement speed and give us a stack of Bulwark whenever we are heavy carrying. So you are actually faster whenever you heavy carry than whenever you're just running normally. And 1 stack of Bulwark never hurt nobody. The next one is the Burden of the Rebel, which reduces skill cooldown by 15% and reduces relic use speed by 25%. But we don't really want to use our relic. The way that we will heal is we'll just heal through dealing damage, since we have 8 points into Siphoner. And we will just passively regen HP thanks to the Tranquil Heart, Triage, and Regrowth. And the last ring is the Burden of the Stargazer, which again reduces our skill cooldowns by 15%, and activating a skill costs 15% health. We will heal that health back almost immediately whenever we use an ability, so don't worry about that. And of course, whenever you face an enemy like the Keula's Shadow, then there is no weak spot to speak of. So what you would want to do is you want to change this one into, and now again, there are choices. You can go for something like the Nightweaver's Grudge. Then you would replace the Xania's Malice with something like the Atonement Fold to activate it. And then you can just switch the mechanics cog for something like the Eteri Booster to have 10% crit chance and 10% more damage. Or you can choose to go with something like the Burden of the Gambler, which disables weak spots, which Chaos doesn't really even have any, but increases our crit chance by 10% and crit damage by 20%. So this is huge. So this is an alternate setup, and also there is a safe setup that you can go with, which would be the Dried Clay Ring, the Mechanics Cog, and the Egg. So right now, if you heavy carry, you would have the 5 stacks of Bulwark, which is maximum, so you would have 25% reduced damage incoming, and also you will translate, thanks to the Dried Clay Ring and thanks to the Whispering Marble, you will translate it to bonus damage as well. So this is a very safe and very fun setup to use. So these are the main ways that you can utilize this build when it comes to the jewelry. When it comes to the guns, we don't really care about the gun this much because we will be heavy carrying most of the time. But what we care about is the Fargazer, since it will work whenever you are aiming with your heavy carried turret anyway, and it will apply the Stacks of Madness, so this is very nice. We also have feedback on it, just to get some more mod power. Then we have the Krelax with Tainted Blade, so we can apply the Corroded status from range very easily. And then we have Enigma with Time Wave, just so we can deal with the odds a little bit more efficiently. Applying slow to your enemies whenever they are rushing you, very, very useful. And Enigma is just a good gun overall. When it comes to the traits, we have Triage and Regrowth to heal back as much as we can. Flashcaster, so that we will take out our turret very quickly, we will boost it very quickly, and we will also dismiss it very quickly. When it comes to the next one, that's Vigor, we just want to have more HP. Expertise, because cooldowns are crucial for this build. Right now we are sitting at skill cooldown of 70%, also thanks to the Xenoplasm that we drank. Then there is Rugged, so that our pets and also our turret, if we decided to place it, will have more HP and will not die as easily. Then we have Footwork, since whenever we heavy carry and we aim, we'll just move faster, and this is 50%, which is a lot. On top of the Mechanics Cog 15%, this is a very, very nice boost. And then we have Fitness, because whenever you heavy carry, your dodge is very good, so additional 20% distance on it can hurt. And the last 8 points went into the Siphoner, since we will be healing back a lot, since we'll be just doing a lot of damage. So this is the first build that I wanted to show off for Yamsui 4520. I hope that you will enjoy it. I hope that you'll get to see it and test it and let me know what you think in the comments below. Right now, I will just do a showcase on a boss fight of this build in multiplayer, so that you see how it deals whenever the boss is scaled to multiplayer, whenever you are playing with friends. If you don't care about it and want to skip it, then just skip to the next build and I will see you there. Welcome back. Let's go to the build number 2. The request came from the guy that goes by Talent Trippin 3535, who says, Nacho, can you make some builds with Explorer archetype? And well, I really did. I made 2 builds for you, so this will be in place 2 and 3. One of them, the first one, is the DPS build, and the other one would be a full support build. So it looks like this. I really tried to make Explorer good and put it in the primary spot, but its primary archetype ability, like the prime perk, doesn't really do much for us since it only gives us more items and is good for farming. Since this is the case, I will always place Explorer as a secondary archetype unless I'm farming for currency or relics or something else. So that's actually good and bad. It's good because it lets us place a different primary archetype in the spot while still having the benefits of the Explorer that actually matter. So we have placed in the primary spot the Ritualist and we have the Miasma skill. With the secondary we have Explorer with Planeswalker, and when it comes to the drip we are wearing is the Field Medic Mask, Bruiser Body Plate, Trainer Work Boots, and High Noon Arm Guards. The relic that we chose for this is the Salvaged Heart, with elemental damage, skill cooldown, and range crit chance. When it comes to the weapons, we have the Blackmo AR-47, simply because it's a jack of all trades. You can choose any other weapon that you'd like, but since the Ritualist has increase to all damage, and Explorer also has an increase to all damage, they are perfect for applying dots, but also for using mods. We will be using Scrapshot in this case, with Fetid Wounds secondaries, and the goal is to just cover the entire area in hazards and death traps and damage every single person that tries to get close. So we will apply Miasma, which again will just be a big circle around us and apply all of the statuses. Then we will have the Scrapshot that we will just place on the ground, and anything that comes over it will be slowed and will keep taking damage. Then we also have the MP60 with Tremor and Harmonizer, so we will be spamming Tremors as well. So anything that comes over our way will also keep getting damaged by the Tremor. And the last thing, we have the Krelax with the Tainted Blade again as a way to apply Corroded easily. If we, let's say, run out of the ammo on Blackmo, or we just don't have enough time to reload it to apply the Corroded status, this will be perfect. When it comes to the jewelry, again, there are some choices to be made here, but I think that this is the most optimal setup. This is the Whispering Marble and Right Clay Ring combo, which again increases all damage that we do, so it really improves both the dots, the mods, and the gun damage. Then we have the Timekeeper's Jewel, since we want the dots to stay as long as we can, so they will last right now 43.5 seconds. Then we have the Band of the Fanatic, and right now this is kind of bugged since it doesn't really reduce the status effect duration by 65%. It actually prolongs it by 3.5 seconds for whatever reason. It gives us a nice boost of 25% to our status effect damage, which we cannot really ignore at the moment. This is just a fantastic ring. If it ever gets fixed, then well, we'll just have to see what comes next. And the last ring that we have here is the Ahane Crystal, which deals 5% additional damage for each status effect the target is suffering from, and we'll be applying a lot of different status effects simply because of the Miasma, the Fetid Wounds, and the Tainted Blade and Krelax. This will be a lot of bonus damage. That's just not worth skipping. When it comes to the traits, we have Triage and Regrowth, just so we can get some HP back. Fortify to be tanky, Flashcaster to cast our abilities very quickly and mods, Vigor to have more HP, Spirit and Expertise because cooldowns and mod generation, Amplitude simply because we want our AoE mods and our skill, which is Miasma, to be on as big of an area as possible. And then we have Fitness that will increase our evade distance, so we'll be even more agile. Planeswalker will let us just run through everything. We'll just be able to dodge through any enemies or incoming damage with Fitness. We'll just be able to run through most of the dungeons, leaving only dead bodies behind thanks to our dots and mods. So this turned out pretty good, I think, and I will show you a Taltrafa fight with this build. I hope that you will enjoy it, and I will see you at the third final build. Hello and welcome back to the last build of the video. This time we have a support build with Handler and Explorer. Handler Prime is just better than Explorer, as we discussed before. It will let you pick up your teammates, or it will raise you if you manage to die somehow. And we also have the attack dog, simply because this is more of an offensive setup. We can just as well go with the support dog or the guard dog. They are all great, but the star of the show right now would be the gold digger skill, and this is what we are built for. The armor is exactly the same as in previous build, so it's field medic mask, bruiser body plate, trainer work boots, and the high noon arm guards. The relic changed. This is the Blooming Heart, which is a support one, and it will let your allies just walk over to the orb and get a lot of HP back. The relic fragments are skill cooldown, skill duration, and modern skill cast speed. The weapon that I chose for this one is the Sparkfire shotgun, simply because it can very easily, as you can see, apply 3 different status effects, which is burning, overloaded, and corrosive. And this alone makes the Ahane crystal worth it, so your allies, even if they don't really apply any dots themselves, they can run a Ahane crystal for free, and they will just benefit from the damage that you give them. Then we have the Spectral Blade with Whirlwind and Tainted Blade, simply because we want to be able to apply the corroded status and acid damage to everything around us, and this will be pretty big simply because we have resonance. And the last weapon is the MP60 with an energy wall and twisting wounds. So this is the last missing dot that we can apply, which is bleeding. And the energy wall will actually help you defend your teammates and yourself, and it actually eats up quite a lot of damage in some fights specifically, like the Shahala fight, or it can just defend you from the orbs at the Annihilation fight as well. It's very, very nice. When it comes to the jewelry, we have the Legacy Protocol, which is one of the new items added from the DLC, which reduces skill cooldown by 20% and increases skill duration by 15%, which is extremely good. If you don't have it or don't have the DLC, you can also just run the Jester Bell, increases mod and skill cast speed by 35%, which is huge. And casting a skill or mod increases all damage by 20%. We will be casting skills all the time, so don't worry about it. The 15 seconds is just enough because we have 11 seconds cooldown on our primary ability, in part thanks to the Burden of the Stargazer, which reduces our skill cooldowns by 15%, and activating a skill costs 15% health. We also, of course, have the Xenoplasm to reduce our skill cooldowns by additional 10%, so we are right now at 75%. Then we have the Stone of Continuance, which increases skill duration by 25%. So this will let us keep our buffs from the Gold Digger, and this will help us keep our buffs from the Attack Dog or the Defense Dog keep up a lot longer. So as you can see, it lasts 31 seconds and has a cooldown of 22 seconds, so there is a very big overlap here. You will be able to buff your teammates permanently with this build. The next one is the Kinetic Cycle Stone, which increases our mod and skill cast speed by additional 20%. And the last one is a Honey Crystal, simply because we have a lot of dots that we can apply, thanks to the dog, thanks to the MP60, and thanks to our main gun. It's just free damage. If you wanted to go for something less offensive, I would just recommend getting rid of the Ahane Crystal and replacing it with Stone of Malevolence. And then, thanks to the Sparkfire shotgun burning damage, we'll be able to spam any mod that we'd like. One of the best ones is Healing Shot, if you can aim it, that is, or the Song of Aether. And when it comes to the Mutator, you would of course want to go for the Spirit Healer, since it will just regenerate health for your allies, and you will be able to spam the mod because of the Stone of Malevolence and the elemental damage that the Sparkfire shotgun does. Alright, when it comes to the traits, we have Triage, Fortify, and Flashcaster. Then we have Regrowth, Vigor, Expertise, Rugged, Amplitude, and Resonance. And as you can see right now, whenever we use an ability, we dig a hole extremely quickly, and the area of it is really, really big. We can just run around digging holes using our dog ability. And as you can see, we are getting a lot of HP back very quickly. And there are all 4 buffs at the same time active. And it's a pretty big area too, so your teammates will not have any problems accessing them. As you can see, we can already dig a new one. We can make it a base by defending ourselves with the shield. Or we could even use the Song of Aether at this area to have even more DR. Your job is basically just to keep running around, digging holes, using your dog ability, applying status effects, and just basically being the best support that you can be for your friends. Yeah, so as you can see, we are having a lot of different fountains at the same time. It's like 8 going on right now. Yeah, 2 of each, exactly 8. So the cooldowns are not really a problem at all. If you prefer it, you can also swap the concoction to Madtooth's tonic, which would be great as well. We don't need as much cooldown reduction, but it's just fun to cast skills. And I think that this would be all for the first episode of the community builds with Nacho. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you have any recommendations, just hit me up in the comments down below. I always read all of the comments, and as always, have a great day.